Well, good morning, commuters. Here's my face in case you forgot what it looked like. Oh my goodness. Another super humid day. How are you? Good morning. My name is Matt Malone. This is the Malone's Commute podcast. 83,617 miles. It's Wednesday, July 3rd. So tomorrow is the big holiday. Oh, get your footlongs. Tomorrow's July 4th, the holiday. So I don't have to work tomorrow. So today will be about July 4th, I guess. What other day to do a July 4th podcast than on July 3rd? So getting a little head start. Getting a little head start on the old holiday here. And I just thought it's funny, when you go into a grocery store, like if you go to a Walmart or a Meijer or a Kroger or a, what do they call them, the old Piggly Wigglies? You guys know about Piggly Wiggly? That's down south. We don't got those around here. But it's so funny around July 4th. Oh, this is a very, very bumpy road, apparently. You walk in, and there'll be a huge July 4th display. And they just go full-on stereotype with what you're going to want for July 4th. You're going to want to pick yourself up some Frank hot dogs. They plump when you cook them. And some hot dog buns, and some ketchup and mayo. Maybe some U.S. flags that are made in China. They got it all displayed right there for you, all in one spot, right when you walk into the grocery store. Who walks into the grocery store and be like, oh my goodness, everything I came to the store is right here for me. I'm a typical American, and I'm going to walk right in. I'm going to get myself some hot dogs. Even if I was getting hot dogs or hamburgers or hot dog buns or ketchup, I wouldn't go to that big display right in the beginning. They got it all nice and beautiful and laid out and perfect. I'd still go to the back and get it. I know, they got it figured out. They got this grocery store stuff down to a science. Like, wow, these dumb fat Americans, all they're buying are hot dogs. They're buying them by the dozen count. We might as well put them right here in the front. Stupid Americans. Oh my gosh. No, you gotta do something a little bit different than just hot dogs and hamburgers. Come on. Why don't you try smoking some salmon? There you go. That's a little something different. No, it's just, it always made me laugh when I walk in and I see these big displays. I'm like, who's just walking up to that display and filling their cart full of everything the store thinks you want to buy? I mean, based on their stats and their inventory and their sales around this time, I mean, I'm sure it's probably pretty dang close to what most people get. But I think it's more of just like a display. Like, they don't actually think you're gonna sit there and fill your cart. I think most people go to the back to where it usually typically is and be like, well, the family's coming over. We're gonna do some grilling. Might as well pick up about 38 hot dogs and get some hamburgers. Now we're going to need about 3 gallons of ketchup. If you're putting ketchup on a hot dog, you're doing it all wrong, by the way. I know people like ketchup on their hot dog, but you really shouldn't do that. It's not as good as just one strip of mustard. Just regular old American-style yellow mustard. Just put a big old strip on that. See, when I do the face cam, you can't see this beautiful rainbow that I'm looking at right now. See, you guys are missing out, man. It's not that great. It's just a little stubby. It's a little stub of a rainbow. Yeah, see, you guys are missing out. I don't know, do you guys like the face cam? Or do you like... I figured since most of y'all are sim racers that you'd like the dash cam view. But I guess we'll switch it up every once in a while. And then I figured if I was doing dash view, like if there was ever an accident or something or a deer, you guys would be able to see it. Or if I comment on something that's going on in the road, you'd be able to see it because I can't just flip it around. I thought there was a way with a camera to just be able to flip it around, but you can't. I can touch it and it like zooms in, or I can zoom in, I guess, and focus on certain things. But anyway, Yeah, I worked really late yesterday. We're talking about July 4th. Yeah, I didn't stream yesterday, but I worked like 10 and a half hours. I didn't get home till pretty late. The idea would, I didn't get to mow the lawn because it rained. The grass is super long, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe if I mow today, I can stream tomorrow. I don't know. Or if I stream tonight, then I'd have to like mow the grass tomorrow before our little July 4th activities. Anyway, yeah, July 4th, it's a good time to go grilling, show up the neighbors, be like, yeah, I got a double burner in here. Yeah, it takes 2 propane tanks. Yeah, I'm sucking it down like it's going out of style. Like, God, my grill's even got a side burner. Yeah, I can even warm me up some buns on the top rack. Like, oh. What do you go with? You go with a gas grill or are you going with a charcoal grill? I like the cook that a charcoal grill will give you, but it's just too much damn work, to be honest. I mean, I kind of grew up with a charcoal grill at my parents' house, and it was like 4 hours later, he was able to heat up a hot dog. It's like, geez, you can put that in the microwave. But the charcoal does do a better, more even, slower cook than just the gas. I mean, gas you're just flipping on. It's like cooking on the stove, really. But it's easy. We got a gas grill. I haven't used it yet. Bought it used. But yeah, what are you guys cooking this weekend? We're going over to my parents' house. My mom is making some ribs, and she makes some really good ribs. So I'm super excited about that. Good time to get outside. If you haven't dusted off the old grill, get it going. If you got a smoker, my buddy's got a smoker I talked about. Smoked some ribs over the weekend. It's all good, man. I have done that. Salmon's. If you smoke a salmon on a wood plank, they buy them like you can buy. It's like an all-in-one kit. Comes with the I think it's cedar. It's a nice wood, nice cedar wood, and they'll sell the cedar wood with the salmon steak right on it. I don't know if I've never actually bought one of those all-in-one kits, but I've done. Me and my friends back in the day have done. You get the cedar plank, and you're supposed to let it soak like overnight, and get like a little piece of Tupperware, and you put some beer. Get some old beer that you got laying around from an old bender that you went on, and you put that in the Tupperware, and then you put the cedar plank in there, and you put something in there to kind of weigh it down so it's fully submerged. And you let your cedar plank be submerged and get really saturated overnight, and then the next day, on a really low heat on the grill, you can smoke some salmon on that cedar plank. Turns out really good. And then we've even done shrimp that way on the grill. You can get pretty creative cooking on the grill for sure. I've known people that cook pizza on the grill. Cook a pizza on the grill. I've never eaten one, but I've heard of people doing that. So, but you figure your standard American tomorrow just gonna be cooking up hamburgers and hot dogs. I always go for the, they got those pre-made patties. It's like, what kind of burger do you like? I like the thick and the wide. Give me the thick, wide ones. Those standard hamburger buns, they're always too damn small for the big, juicy burger that I want, right? So you got to get those bigger buns that are, they're so good. Then maybe they got a little sesame seeds on top. That can really give you the full coverage. And that way you got plenty of room to put all your toppings, a whole slice of tomato. Sometimes I'll go with a whole slice of onion, Ketchup and mustard on the hamburger, though. Gotta have cheese. What else? Maybe you put some of the ingredients underneath. Maybe a couple jalapeno slices underneath. Underneath the patty and underneath the, in between the patty and the bottom bun. You throw that in there. You make yourself a nice little Firehouse Burger. Ooh. Got to have the normal sides. American potato salad. Oh my, everything's there's a lot of things. There's just American this, American that, American cheese, American potato salad, American this. It's like, what makes it American? I don't know. It's just so stupid sometimes. But yeah, I mean, grilling out, you're just sitting out there sweating, eating meat. It doesn't get any more American than. Then you blow some stuff up later on. It's really great. And then no one really knows what July 4th is. They just know it's a holiday and it's a day off. Most kids or most people don't know. I don't think. Well, I'm sure some people do, but nowadays everything's just so commercialized that it's just a time to get together. It's like any holiday, just a good time to get together with family and friends, hanging out. This guy's pulling over. There's some debris in the road. That's not debris. That was a possum, a dead one. Okay. I just split it. Oh, he's turning around. He must have missed his exit there. You got to be careful of the crazies out there. So yeah, what are your guys' plans for the big July 4th? I know we all sit around and we'll get together with family and friends, and I'll whip out the old United States Constitution, and we'll all read it together out loud, and then just for funsies, we'll all sign it. At the very end, be like, okay, another year in the books. Oh man, how many people have actually read the Constitution? I've skimmed over it. It's not that long. It's great. The great thing about it, everything's pretty much laid out there for you. Yeah, that was really a death sentence that they were signing. They were signing their own death sentence back then. They didn't know what was going to happen after they got together and signed that thing. So, it's tough back then, I tell you. We got this nice new piece of property. The old landlord from across the pond, he thinks he can dictate what's going on here. I don't think so. We're going to sign our own lease. That's pretty much what it is. I mean, why? Hey, stop telling us what to do. We got all this land. We're going to do with what we want to do with it. Be like, we're sick of your rules. It reminds me of like a rebellious kid. He finally moves out of his parents' house. His parents come over every weekend. Now you really should do this, Billy, and you really should do this, Tommy. Shut up, Mom and Dad. I'm going to do it my own way. Get out of here. We're kicking you out. Leave me alone. When you come over here, I got my own set of rules. That's pretty much what it is. I mean, there's been a lot of revisionist histories going on, and I wasn't alive back then to really understand the full scope of everything. But if you believe what they tell you in schools, which probably mostly true, but it's hard to say what to believe. But I think they did a pretty good job as far as setting us up with a pretty decent constitution. Basic rules, basic foundation for what we still are supposed to be living under today. And it holds true, most of it holds true pretty well. I think I heard that it's like the longest lasting constitution ever made. This guy's going slower than dicks, dude. Let's go. Let's get on it, buddy. What is he already drinking for the 4th? He's going super slow. He's an old farmer or something. That was an overtake. Count it. Yeah, somebody said, it could be wrong, but the longest lasting constitution ever written for any country, although, I mean, it's been perverted since then. I mean, you can't, there's a lot of laws on the books that contradict the Constitution. It's like, well, is the Constitution still actually like the law of the land? I mean, parts of it, I guess, but I mean, if you actually sat down and looked at it, and you're like, well, I got 400 laws on the books that contradict with this document. Be like, so which one are we going off of here? And for the most part, we go off of the new laws that they create. So it's like, is it really still the law of the land? I guess the basic concepts are, but it's been trashed. And, you know, it's really sad, but I mean, I know things update, and you know, we're not walking around with muskets anymore, so there's certain things that, you know, change through time. But I think the founding fathers, they were visionaries, man. I'm telling you, they got it right for the most part. I mean, in general, they kind of saw the writing on the wall. They understood how the structure should be laid out. You know, they understood the separation of powers, although that's slowly just filtering all into the executive branch right at this point. But I think that's our fault and the legislative's fault. I mean, when you're the legislative and you're just lazy, so you give up power to the executive branch, and it's stupid. Like, do your damn job, you know? No, we can't agree on anything. Oh, well, you know. Like, still, you shouldn't give up your power, though, because things are hard, or you can't agree on things. You know, sometimes gridlock is good for Congress. You know, maybe not passing so many laws would actually benefit the people. You ever think of that? Nope. I mean, it's like certain things need to get done, sure, but you know, sometimes I applaud gridlock because I'm like, stop writing laws, stop passing laws. It's not helping the common people. It's only making the fat cats fatter and the poor, you know. I mean, there's certain things for reform that may need to be done, but come on, man. It's like, oh, we can't agree on anything. Good. Then that means you shouldn't be doing it. And that's my opinion on most things. It's like they you know, all these congressmen and women, they feel like, oh, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this and I'm going to pass this law and I'm going to bring up this. It's like, why? Well, why don't we try enforcing the stuff already on the books, or you know, revising and making better the stuff that we already have, or getting rid of stuff. Hey, here you go. Why don't you get rid of a bunch of laws? That'd be great. Maybe help us out here. Like, geez. So there's so many laws and so much policy and so much guidelines and regulations, and it's like walking on eggshells. It's like you can't make a move without being like, oh, nope, you got to do this before you do that. There's a regulation for this. You got to fill this paperwork out for this. You're a business owner. Be like, I just want to buy a hammer. Like, is it that hard? Well, it's got to be a certain type of hammer. See, the law of the land back in 1978 says the hammer must be at this weight and have a handle of this length. Back, what's going on here? Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously embellishing and joking around, but I mean, really, people talk about gridlock and how it's so bad. I think it's great. It's like, stop. You know, why don't you lift the boot off of our neck just a little bit? That'd be great. That'd be fan-frickin-tastic. And why don't you actually enforce the laws that are already on the books for certain businesses and corporations? I mean, they talk about these big businesses and corporations, and the CEOs are making off with millions and this and that and the other thing. Well, stop subsidizing them. Well, you know, why don't you actually make them pay taxes? Why don't you, well, you know, if you're all upset and butthurt that, you know, General Electric doesn't pay any taxes, or Google doesn't, or whoever that was recently in the news about, like, Google didn't pay any taxes. Be like, well, whose fault is that? You let them do the loopholes, or you let them, you know, you got them, they're in with the government. Of course, they're like a little pet to the government doing their bidding. It's like, don't be mad at Google, be mad at the government for allowing it. I mean, that's what it comes down to. You can't be like super mad with these certain companies when they're probably breaking the law, or they got some sweet deal with the government that allows them to break the law. It's like, and then they come down on Joe the citizen, Joe, you know, some regular ass guy that has a small business, and maybe he didn't, like, you know, filter his money in a certain way to a certain business account, or he wrote certain checks, and then you go after him the IRS comes down on his ass and, they either put him in prison or give him all these fines. It's like, what, are the priorities all screwed up here or what? Like, leave the man alone. He's trying to make a dang living, And then you got these huge corporations. Look, I don't want to defend big corporations, but a part of it is like, they're just doing what they can to hire people to make a buck, but then again, at the end of the day, a lot of it is very fraudulent way of participating in the capitalist system that we have. Capitalism is great when it's actually performed correctly and under the law, right? But what we have now is crony capitalism, when you got the government, the damn government, getting involved with all these corporations and they're subsidizing them and making sweetheart deals. And what happens is I've seen it in local areas where I've done businesses where, let's say you got a big company, kind of like, we'll just use Amazon. No, we'll use like, let's just say like Walmart. I'm just like a big company that people tend to hate for whatever reason. I mean, they employ thousands of people. But at any rate, let's say you get like Walmart coming into an area, and it's like, okay, we'll build a frickin' Walmart here. This is what Walmart says to the government, the local government. They're like, all right, we'll put up a huge frickin' super center here, and we're going to employ a bunch of your citizens, and we're going to bring money in, but you got to give us a sweetheart deal. Otherwise, we're going to the next county. And that's what happens. So there's like a bidding war of like, well, this county or city or municipality or whatever is going to give Walmart a super sweet deal on either their real estate taxes or just like the amount of taxes that they have to pay into the government just to be able to operate here. And if they don't get some sweetheart deal, they move on to the next county. And it's all these cities and stuff like battling on who can give them a sweet deal, and it's like, well, if Joe Blow is going to open up a hardware store, you think he's going to get any sweet deals? Hell no. He's going to get charged more percentage-wise than Walmart because they got to make up for it, the fact that they gave him a sweetheart deal. It's like, when are we actually going to get to the point where like an actual small business actually gets an incentive? But they don't care, because the city looks at Walmart and they're like, well, they're going to employ a bunch of our citizens. They're going to, overall bring in a lot more tax money than a smaller company. And it's just like, and you wonder why these big corporations, get bigger and bigger, and the CEOs keep making off with more and more money. And, it's just like unbelievable, man. So let's look at some of the, government's not going to go on the stump. The big election's coming up soon. They're not going to be walking around and be like, what's really wrong? The dang government. We've gone too far. We've got too many sweetheart deals. We're making too much money. You know what we ought to do? No, of course not. They're going to blame someone else. They're going to blame the big corporations. They're going to blame China. They're going to blame Russia. It's never their fault. Although the Republicans and the Democrats have done more to ruin this country than any standing foreign army could ever have done in the history of the world. Unfreaking believable. They do whatever. I don't want to get off into it. We all know politics suck. It's a disease. There's maybe a handful of people in there trying to do a good job, but overall it's systemic, man. It's just the good old boys club. And it's these damn people in government. They remind me of those stuck-up people from high school that were on, they got onto the school little council bullcrap, and they're like, no, we got to do this and that, and they just think they're above everyone, and it's just so annoying. I hate those people. These are the same people. They don't want to work for a living. They just want to go into the government and see if they can get some sweetheart deals because they think they're above the law and they think they're above the normal working people. They're not looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for the interests of the people filling their pockets. I mean, I'm not telling you anything new here. I'm not telling you anything new. Get me fired up on July 4th. No wonder why we're setting off bottle rockets and Roman candles and big old fireballs in the sky. People get fired up. They're like, ah! No, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm preaching to the choir, I'm sure. Most people realize the government's freaking corrupt. Get them out of there. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Get them out. No. I'm just kidding. Man, it's 6:30 a.m. I'm going, boy. What are we doing today? We're screaming and yelling. Now we ain't going to change nothing. It's not worth it. Don't vote. Don't do it. No, I do whatever you want. But I tell you, at this point, I just look at it like a game show, really. Like, oh, what's going on in the game show today? And just purely entertainment. Be like, oh, God. I'm sure when I have kids, I'll think about it a little bit differently. Be like, oh, geez, my kid's got to grow up in this environment. Oh, boy. But yeah, July 4th, I mean, I'm sure it'd be perfect to, when you're standing around the old grill, tomorrow, and you're hanging out with family and friends, maybe talk about AOC. It's a great icebreaker. Be like, well, did you see AOC at the border? Oh, man. Great icebreaker. Be like, Bill, hand me some more mustard. Hey, did you see what AOC did over the weekend? It's like, what do you think about Joe Biden's foreign policy? Hey, hand me that mustard. Great icebreakers, Just really bring the family together, Oh, man. The only way politics actually brings people together in like a family and friends situation is if everyone agrees on the same thing. And really only that time happens when it's the good old boys back. I tell you what, boy, I get me and 40 some of my friends back from the reserve. We're about to roll up on that DC, man. We'll show them who's boss. They'll get something going, boy. Those good old boys. And most of them are right, but they think very like it's a very simple way of thinking. But I mean, look at the Constitution, man. The Constitution is very simple. It's fundamentals, basic principles, and if you come out with some law that fundamentally contradicts the Constitution, then it should be null and void. But who decides that? These stupid lawyers? What are you gonna do? They get these good old boys, they get, I tell you what we ought to do. Go in there, slam some shit around. The only way they're going to learn. Oh, boy. Anyway, I don't mean to get off too much on it. I just wanted to talk about July 4th a little bit. Get some good fireworks going. I know, if you guys know a place called Bob Joe Speedway in Sycamore, Illinois, they do an amazing 4th of July event. Great fireworks, great racing. The crowd gets into it. It's a lot of fun. I've been there a couple times for July 4th over the years. But a lot of towns and places are going to be doing their fireworks on Saturday. So let me know how you guys do. I remember one year, my family owns a lot of farmland in a particular area. And what was cool is because we're kind of in between 3 different towns, and there was a hill. And I just remember we were sitting out on the road. It's a country road, like no traffic whatsoever. And we're on a hill, and you could see 3 different fireworks shows going off from 3 different towns. And then you look in the other direction, and there was cloud-to-cloud lightning. So we had like 4 different light shows going on. I'll never forget that. It was a great experience because you're just like, wow, look at that. I mean, obviously you're not really close to it. It was in the distance. Everything was in the distance. But we were just surrounded by 4 different light shows, and so yeah, even the heavens were breaking open, having a little celebration that night. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, how do you enjoy the fireworks? This is how I enjoy the fireworks. You wait around and you spray bug spray all over you while swatting mosquitoes and trying to look at some dumb fireworks in the sky. And then by the time you're all hot and sweaty and hungry, you're like, fine, it's over. Let's get out of here. And maybe I light off a little sparkler. I'm like, here's to another year of oppression. Oh, I mean, here's to another year of freedom. No, I kid. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy the 4th. I always enjoy it. It's fun. And wave that red, white, and blue flag high above, and let men, be proud of this, that you're a citizen of the United States, best country in the world, forever and ever. Amen. I'm having some fun today. It's exciting. Because it feels like kind of like a quasi Friday today, because no work tomorrow, But as far as the stream schedule goes, I'm sorry, man. I've just been really busy working 10-hour days. And like I said, I'll have to talk with Samantha, see what her plan is. But if, I do need to mow the grass. She's working on the kitchen cabinets. So lots going on, but it's either stream tonight, no stream tomorrow, or no stream tonight and stream tomorrow during the day. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being patient. Hope the podcasts are trying to get you through. I don't know. There's no racing, so I doubt it. But if you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I think I said the wrong thing on the last video, and a bunch of people disliked the video because of what I said, but I don't remember what I said, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, I do appreciate you guys hanging out. Nice little dialogue in the comments. I read all the comments, I may not respond to all of them, but I do read them, so I appreciate the support. And I didn't mean to get too controversial during this podcast. I hope I didn't come across as too controversial. I'm not trying to be. I'm just get excited, get a little excited, And so don't take it too personal, or don't make it seem like I'm taking a stance on anything, because I'm not. I'm just kidding around for the most part. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys have a great 4th. Be safe out there. I have, I should tell the story really quick of when I burned my hand. I was having some drinks, one year. It was like, I was like college time, and I freaking lit this, I don't know what it was, man. It was a pretty substantial size firecracker or firework. One of those ones where you just light and you throw up, or you throw them, and it I don't know what it was. But anyway, it was like the tip was broken off, and there was just a little fuse on it, and I lit it, and it just immediately went, just scorched my hand. And I had my aunt's a nurse, and she said there were 3rd-degree burns on my hand, and it was like the worst pain ever. I don't think they were 3rd degree, because I don't have any scarring from it, right? Usually you get a lot of scarring from a 3rd-degree burn, but maybe because it's on your hand, it heals different. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but yeah, that was the worst pain I've ever had, and I couldn't even sleep that night because of the pain, the throbbing, the burning sensation I had in my hand. And yeah, that was a really bad experience. So be extra careful, guys. If you're lighting off fireworks and stuff, at least get one of those candle lighters that has the long extension on it if you're going to be lighting anything. And just be safe, and don't be, if you've had more than 3 drinks, maybe don't be lighting fireworks. Maybe let someone else do it, and don't be driving. So, yeah, be safe, guys, but have fun, and we'll see you next time, and enjoy yourself. Goodbye, I love you.